Hey friends, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Shay and this is my channel, A Book Affair. If you're returning, hey girl, hey, hi guy, hey. So I decided that once again, okay girl, like just do a reading vlog while you are reading your last book for the month of September. As today is September 24th, and therefore I am on my very last book that I'm going to read in the month of September. I'm trying to pull up my Everend to show you guys where it's at. I'm going to record myself probably for the next few minutes, probably like 15-20 minutes. I'm going to get a bit of work done that I have between my clients. Looking at my calendar, get a bit of work done that I have between clients, and then of course turn off the camera and continue working. Then I'll kind of come back in and pop in when I can. This may entail more than just me reading this specific book. I do have like some books I want to show y'all. I don't think I want to do a separate like haul for it necessarily. I may do it kind of more informally like in this video, but we'll see. We're gonna see. Keep watching and you'll see. Okay, so the book I'm reading in this vlog is Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. I am only on page 58, which is chapter 10. I'm reading it audio or listening to it audio. Let me show y'all. It is currently at chapter 10 of, it says 44, but I'm sure some of those are in credits and possible acknowledgments. Technically I am, here comes my dog, I hear her heels. Hey mama. I'm only 20% through the book right now, so I'm about to continue listening to this. I'm probably gonna have to start or rewind this chapter a little bit, but so far I obviously added this to my TBR. Hold on, let me turn off my space heater. I'm sorry if it was hard to hear me, y'all. I had on my space heater. A girl is always cold, so don't judge me. And I'm actually taking my iron pills now, but I still like warmth. Anywho, I added this book to my TBR months ago. Not exactly sure when, but I did an impromptu trip to Barnes and Noble where I was like, you know what, girl, your birthday just passed, so like you can treat yourself to books. I think I told y'all in the video when I organized my bookshelf, like, girl, you're not buying any more books outside of your book subscription boxes. And I've gotten just a few since then. And again, I'll share that with y'all when I share with y'all. But this is one of the books that I walked out with. I actually had made my mind made up and said this book needs to be moved up on my TBR after I read my last book. Can't remember what my last book was right now. What's my last book? It's fine. Can't remember it. I'll eventually share it with y'all. But that's when I decided I'm going to end the month of September reading this book. I'm going to go ahead and read y'all a bit of the back of this book. One day, a cataclysmic event occurs. All of the white people in America walk into the nearest body of water. A year later, Charlie Burton is a black man living in an entirely new world. Having served his time in prison for a wrongful conviction, he's now a professor of electric and solar power systems at Howard University when he receives a call from someone he wasn't even sure existed. His daughter, Sydney, a 19-year-old left behind by her white mother and stepfamily. Traumatized by the event and terrified of the upside down world, not Stranger Things. Traumatized by the event and terrified of the outside world, Sydney has spent a year in isolation in Wisconsin. Desperate for help, she turns to the father she never met, a man she has always resented. Sydney and Charlie meet for the first time as they embark on a journey across a truly post-racial America in search of answers. But neither of them are prepared for this new world and how they see themselves in it. Heading south toward what is now called the Kingdom of Alabama, everything Charlie and Sydney thought they knew about themselves and the world will be turned upside down. Brimming with heart and humor, this stunning allegory will spark much discussion about the power of community and connection, about healing and self-actualization. It is a reckoning with what it means to be Black in America in both the character's world and ours. I couldn't explain this any better. I couldn't explain this any better. So yeah, so far we're just in a scene where Charlie and Sydney, his daughter that he recently met a year after all white people just walked into water and drowned. They are now traveling down south. Sydney has a reason why she wants to go there. I will not necessarily disclose that, and yet I'm still going through to see exactly how this one is turn out, but we are now starting on their journey. So again, 20% in ish so far. I am enjoying it. I have listened to this so far just audiobook, just because what today is Wednesday technically, so with me being in the car and commuting to work and not being able to really sit and read this book like I want to, so I decided to start an audio because I can start that quicker than actually finding time to read the book. So let me go ahead and read more before I have to hop off and do some work that I have with clients I have for the rest of the day, and we're just gonna see, and I'll give you guys an update when I have the next one. All right, see y'all in a bit. Okay, so we just got to a part where the truth was more so revealed. So I'm gonna finish reading this chapter, which are technically only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages before I get to chapter 11. I'm just gonna finish reading this, and I think I'm going to try to read more of this book instead of like doing immersive reading or even the audio, unless I have to like cook or something like that. Okay, prop y'all back up. So I just finished reading chapter 10, starting chapter 11, and oh, chapter 11 is like 2 freaking pages. I can read that. But anyway, still very much so enjoying the book. Not much has happened outside of that encounter where the hard R word was thrown around a lot of times, but this person who was doing that seems to be in conflict with oneself. I don't know. Sorry, my hair is a mess. I didn't even curl it today. I say, girl, you're gonna show up as you are. No curls, no additional curls, that is. But no, yeah, so I don't know if this person was just like in conflict with themselves or what, but yeah, that was intense. I was like, all right, bruh. But anyway, right now they've made their first stop, which includes the reason that Charlie's daughter Sydney wanted to go where she requested to go. But yeah, I have to stop there because I have to get ready for a client. So again, not really different from what I first said, but still very much so enjoying the book, or just more so intrigued with how all of this is going to unfold. We did get a scene where exactly what happened that led Charlie to prison, that was revealed, but they already kind of alluded to it earlier on in the book, but now we kind of just seen exactly how the actual court date and his court appearance did happen, so which is very unfortunate. But those of you who will read it, you won't be surprised by, you know, what happened and what led him to prison, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna stop here, so I will talk to y'all soon, hopefully with some more updates with Sky Full of Elephants. Okay, one more thing. I know that I just ended, but his daughter has a serious identity crisis as well. So that's another thing to be aware of should you choose to read this book. Like, it makes sense because obviously she wasn't told the truth, right? And this is her first time meeting her biological father, because her stepdad, who was also white, is, you know, who raised her her entire life, also walked into a lake or a body of water, along with her mom and her two brothers who are white. So yeah, she just has a major identity crisis, and it's just weird to hear some of the things she say, because it's like, oh girl, you are so like out of touch, so out of touch. But again, I'll be back. Yeah, let me work and I'll be back. Hey friends, so I decided, since I haven't given you guys an update yet on Sky Full of Elephants, I was like, let me show y'all some of the books I have collected over the past few months. Now, some of these will be a mix of Barnes and Noble. I think it's just one book that I got from Target. Some I got from Amazon. And the others are Book of the Month and Aardvark. So again, just wanted to throw this in here because I don't want to do a completely like separate video for this. I'm just making this entire video just anything bookish, so a mix of me reading Sky Full of Elephants and how I'm feeling about it, as well as this book haul. So where do I want to start? I'm not going to go in any particular order because some of these books aren't even out of the freaking box, so I couldn't even tell you what months they're from. So I'm going to start off with this one. I will say, for this book, this particular book, I did cave and get it just because I truly do like enjoy and love most of the books that I have read about this author. I really wasn't interested in it though. Like, I ain't even gonna hold y'all, like I wasn't interested in it at all. But after seeing how people feel about this book, I caved because again, I love this author. And so that book is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did get it from Target. Y'all do not judge me for still shopping at Target. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But I did go ahead and get Atmosphere. And the reason I wasn't going to get it is because it being about an astronaut, not even going to hold you, it didn't intrigue me at all. But I said, you know what? As a woman, I'm a woman that supports the hard things that women do when they break the glass ceiling. So I'm going to get this book. And also, Taylor Jenkins Reid has a way of writing that really just captivates you. And her writing style is absolutely beautiful. And the way she actually tells stories. And I did recently, not binge, but I did recently read two of her books. One book I've been having for a while that I wanted to read, and another one that wasn't quite on my radar. So I was like, okay, I still like kind of on a high. So I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and break down and get Atmosphere because again, just strictly off of it being TJR. So I can't wait to actually get into this. I'm not exactly sure how high up on my TBR this is, but I got it and I'm looking forward to reading it whenever that is. Next one, I guess I'll go ahead and open the Aardvark. Oh, actually, I'll get this. So now these books are, well, honestly, this one don't matter. This is something more so for me as a therapist will work with fine. So y'all don't care about that. So I just put that to the side. So I want to show you guys Educated, even though I know this is not fictional, it is a memoir. So yes, it is that a non-fictional book, but it's a book that even on my Fable, I see a lot of people read it. Now, I do read other books that are not fictional. I don't necessarily share it on either Goodreads nor Fable, but because of the high praise I hear about this book, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. Haven't gotten to it yet. And on here it says Extraordinary, an Act of Courage and Self Invention by the New York Times. So Educated by Tyra Westover, again, not fictional. I guess I didn't necessarily have to show this just like I did in the previous book, but I actually got this recommended from another booktuber, so that's why I'm more so showing this than the Boundaries book. So on to the book of the month in Aardvark. Right here, the closest one to me is Aardvark. So let me open it. Now, in a previous video, I told y'all that I was going to cancel these. I finally did. Well, kind of, sort of. For the month of September, I did skip a pick for Aardvark Book Club, only because there was absolutely nothing on there that I wanted, and I would have been forcing it if I got it. But for this month, what month was this? Was this August? It's probably August. Yep, August. Okay, so these were the, you guys see that ring light? These were the August books, and honestly, I ain't gonna hold y'all. This bookmark, I'm gonna throw it away. I don't like their bookmarks. Like, it's kind of cute, but I'm not gonna use them. I chose The Once and Future Me by Melissa Pace. Like the cover, this is giving me like 1950s-ish. Let me see what this is about. It says Dark Matter meets Girl Interrupted in this gripping psychological thriller about a young woman teetering on the edge of reality. Okay, I do love a good psychological thriller. I'm trying to remember where I got this book. Virginia, 1954, when a woman wakes on a patient transport bus arriving at Hanover State Psychiatric Hospital, she remembers nothing of her life before that moment, none of the dark things she must have seen and done that forged her into the skillful and cunning fighter she is. I'm gonna stop there. So yes, this is my August pick from Aardvark Book Club. That's a mouthful. The Once and Future Me by Melissa Pace. I will eventually get to this, but I do love a good psychological thriller. All right, next Aardvark book. I took it off. That's why it's sticky. I was like, why is it sticky? It's because I took off my address label. Oh, I already opened it. Lord, it's open. Let's see what it is. Oh, did I show y'all this? No, I think my niece convinced me to open it. Because I think I told her, oh, I'm going to wait until I open it on my channel. She's like, no, open it, open it. What month? Let me see. Check it out. No idea when I got this book, but I got Party of Liars by Kelsey Cox. I do remember getting this one. This one says, I'll read something quick. Today is Sophie Matthews' 16th birthday party. Oh yeah, I do remember. An exclusive black tie bash in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, where secrets are as deep-rooted as a sprawling live oaks. Sophie's dad has spared no expense, and his renovated cliffside mansion, once thought hunted and shattered for years from outsiders, is now hosting the event of the season. Then, just before the candles on the three-tiered red velvet cake are blown out, a body falls from the balcony onto the starlit dance floor below. It's a killer guest list. That is Party of Liars, again by Kelsey Cox. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my book of the month. I'm going to go with this one, because this may be the, I don't know, oldest one, and I already opened it too, so let's see. Oh, yeah. Y'all, July. Do y'all know what this is? Oh, look, I done showed it. July, y'all, July. This is The Summer Storms. Summer is officially over because today is the 25th of September. But yeah, These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. I want to say I've heard that this book can be like executed better, if I'm not mistaken. But if I remember correctly, this book is about a family who's spending their summers together. I believe dad dies, and I don't know, like a mystery or something has to be solved. Let me see. Let me read a blurb. Alice Storm hasn't been welcome at her family's magnificent private island off the Rhode Island coast in 5 years. Not since she was cast out and built her life beyond the Storm name, influence, and untold billions. but the shocking death of her larger-than-life father changes everything. Skip to the bottom. It says, a smart and tender story about the transformative power of grief, love, and family. This luscious novel explores past secrets, present truths, and futures forged in the wake of wild summer storms. So at the time, obviously this was the book of the month that I was most interested in. So these summer storms, summer's over. It's on a private island. I'm assuming during the summer. May not be feeling reading it. May eventually, but we'll see. Next one. Was that a spider? Better not been no spider, y'all. The next book I got, and this is actually August's pick, Forget Me Not by Stacy Willingham. This is a gorgeous cover. Like, look at this. Let's see, what is this one about? Just gonna read it really quickly. I've only read one other Stacy Willingham book, and I did enjoy it. It was Flicker in the Dark. I really did enjoy that book. It got me at the end. So this one says, 22 years ago, Claire Campbell's older sister, Natalie, disappeared shortly after her 18th birthday. Days later, her blood was found in a car. A man was arrested and the case was swiftly closed. In the decades since, Claire has attempted to forget her traumatic past by moving to the city and climbing the ranks as an investigative journalist, until an unexpected call from her father forces her to come back home and face it all anew. That sounds good. I may need to bump this up. All right. I got this book. Now, why the hell did I go and do that? Y'all, I'm really surprised by this book. And this is my September pick. I kind of now remember getting it, but I'm really surprised that I got this. So, this book is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. Now, it is gorgeous, but I am really surprised that I got this book. Now, part of me probably got it because look at these sprayed edges. Look at that. This is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Now, I've never read anything by Stephanie Garber. I cannot think of the names of the books that she's popular for. I will put them up here. But a booktuber that I do really love and enjoy, she does love Stephanie Garber. So perhaps that's why I got it, because I was like, I mean, if she loves her, why the hell not? But no, these spray edges are absolutely gorgeous. Let me read a blurb of this. It says, it starts with a class in an old movie theater. Folklore 517, local legends and urban myths taught by a woman called the professor. Most students believe the professor's stories are just fiction, but Highland St. James has always been convinced that magic is real. When she tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, who can supposedly tell you when you'll die, the world finally makes sense, except that when the Watchman tells her she will die at midnight tomorrow unless she finds an ancient object called the Alchemy Heart. It's like alchemy, but it looks like chemical, AL chemical. Alchemy Heart, we'll just go with that. So yeah, so it looks like she's just racing against the clock to find the Alchemy Heart, whatever that is. Yeah, again, y'all, I really can't tell y'all I got this book. Outside of, it was the only book that seemed interesting for the September pick. And now I will say, for book of the month, I went ahead and paused it. I said, I'm going to pause my subscription. When it comes to book of the month, I can typically find a book that gravitates towards me more than I could have with Aardvark Book Club. So that's probably why I just paused it instead of canceling it. It starts back up December 25th, so literally on Christmas. So we're going to see if I want it to continue, but if not, I'm just going to be done with it. There have been some times when I've gotten audiobooks from Book of the Month, and I appreciate that because y'all know me, I'm an audio girly. But yeah, so that's currently right now, that's my last Book of the Month choice for this year, unless we see what comes up in December. I did make a trip to Barnes. I may have mentioned this, but my birthday was September 11th, and I decided to kind of treat myself, because outside of these subscription boxes, I had not had not bought any books. Let me show y'all what I got. So I did get a cute new bookmark. It says I have no shelf control. Right, I have no shelf control. I thought that was like really cute, and it has like these little cute beads in the French. I love the French. So I couldn't turn that away. Now when I did go to Barnes, I did not go in there with any particular book in mind, did I? No. Every book that I walked out with was not on my radar. It was not on my radar. Now, my current read, which is Sky Full of Elephants, was a part of this trip. I did have my mind made up that this is the book that I wanted to read, but I did not plan on buying it. I don't know if that makes it better. I didn't plan on buying it, but I ended up buying it. So Sky Full of Elephants is also one of the books of the three I'm mentioning. Now, two other books, one that has been on my TBR, one was like completely new, and I just enjoyed what I was reading about it. So I will first mention The Wilderness, because this is the first book that I saw when I walked in there, and this is by Angela Flournoy. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Now, I put this on my TBR a few months ago. I actually got it from Chocolate Covered Pages from her BookTube channel. She recommended this along with some other great selections. It's a book about friendship. Let me read you guys a quick blurb, since that's what I've been doing for this segment. It says, Desiree, Danielle, January, Monique, and Nakia are in their early 20s and at the beginning of their careers of marriage, of motherhood, and of big city lives in New York and Los Angeles. Together, they are finding their way through the wilderness, that period of life when the reality of contemporary adulthood, overwhelming, mysterious, and full of freedom and consequences, swoops in and stays. Now down to the bottom, The Wilderness is Angela Flournoy's masterful and kaleidoscopic follow-up to her critically acclaimed debut, The Turner House. A generational talent, she captures with disarming wit and electric language how the most profound connections over a lifetime can lie in the tangled, uncertain thicket of friendship. Oh girl, you got another book? I'm gonna have to check out The Turner House. I hadn't heard about it. Outside of Chocolate Covered Pages, outside of her recommending this, I was not aware of this author, but like, look at this cover. It's giving me, was that the 90s when like the zebra, the cheetah, the leopard print, all of that was everyone's go-to? So yeah, very nostalgic just even looking at that. So I'm excited to read this one and check it out. Now, this last book with this little haul segment completely caught me off guard, but now the cover caught my attention. I read it and I said, you need to come home with me. So this one is called This Here Is Love by Princess Joy L. Perry. And we have a silhouette of what appears to be a little black girl. I'm going to go ahead and read the blurb for you guys. It says, as the 17th century burns to a close in Tidewater, Virginia, America's character is wrought in the fires of wealth, race, and freedom. Young Bless, the only child left to her enslaved mother, stubbornly crafts the terms of her vital existence. She stands as the lone bulwark between, is it a word? She stands as a lone bulwark between her mother and irreparable desire, her mother's only possibility of hope, as Bless reshapes the boundaries of love. And then you continue on, there are two other main characters, and then at the end it says all three come together on Jack's land. As they face and challenge each other, they will relinquish and remake beliefs about family and freedom, even as they confront the limits of love. So I probably should have read the whole blurb for you guys, but this sounds really, really good. So that's the last book of this little haul. Y'all, I'm kind of embarrassed. Like, of course, this is my free tote because my membership renewed. My other one is an orange one over there on the door. And let me show y'all these books. Oh my gosh. 8. Oh, it's 8. Oh. Ah. Y'all, 8 books. 8 books. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So this is the mini haul segment. All right, so real quick update, Sky Full of Elephants. So I am now, having updated my bookmark, I am 40% through Sky Full of Elephants. There are other important characters in the book so far. So far, the main characters are Charlie and his daughter, Sydney. Sydney is biracial, and you will find this out pretty early on in the book, so that's not a spoiler. And I think I mentioned it in a previous clip where, you know, her family, her white mom, her white stepdad, as well as her two fully white brothers, they were a part of those that walked into bodies of water, because, again, in this book, all white people have pretty much walked into bodies of water and have drowned, and they no longer exist. And so Sydney and her dad are getting to know each other. She calls him because she wants him to take her somewhere. And so now where we are, we're at a part in the book where they have made, I can't remember if they made it exactly. I think they have made it to where they were trying to go, but now they've kind of run into some trouble, and I ended that chapter, had to do some work, and have to now kind of see how this is going to turn out. So far, I'm still very much so enjoying the book, but like I said, there are some other characters that are coming up, and I haven't quite gotten, like, it hasn't tied fully together yet. I really do wish that I was reading this book and just had the time to sit and marinate in it. But I just don't have the time to just really sit and savor this book like I would want, which is why I'm still like just doing it audio. And the audiobook, nothing's wrong with the audiobook at all. Again, I just feel like this is one of those books that you have to, like, you should read with your eyes, allow yourself to savor everything that the author is saying. And maybe that's also that when some of the other, what I consider minor characters are brought up, I'd be like, oh, who is that? And I'm like, oh yeah, they had perhaps a chapter, a few, you know, chapters back. And the chapters are not super long. Like Sydney chapters have been like 2-3 pages. Hers are very short so far. But again, still very much so enjoying it. I can't believe that Sibo kind of even just thought of a world like this. And so far he's doing it very beautifully, and it's just very also like creative in the way that he decided to go with this storyline. I just cannot wait until things kind of start tying together like a bit more. And I think we're reaching that point because, again, like I said, we are, I believe, closer to Sydney's destination, and where she requested her dad to take her, Charlie, and something has happened. They run into some people, and now we got to kind of see how that's going to unfold. So very much so still enjoying it. Just, again, just wish I could actually sit and read it and flip the pages. But either way, still going good. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the things I need to take care of. I will jump on here and pop up the camera with another update when I have one. Talk to y'all soon. Hey my friends, so I am here to let y'all know that I have officially finished Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. Now, obviously this is here. This was the last time I physically read the book. I did end up transferring it to my Kindle because there was one night I was ready to get in bed, but I still wanted to read the book. So I was like, oh, let me see if it's on Kindle. It wasn't on Kindle Unlimited, but I want to say it was like maybe $2. So I got it. I had no problem supporting the author that way. So I did get it on Kindle Unlimited, and honestly, y'all, I read like a chapter that night and I fell asleep. Now, one thing about this book, these chapters are, for the most part, well, some of them, a handful of them are like 2 or 3 pages. And so I did get more of this book read on my Kindle over the past few days. And then this morning, which is today, is September 29th, I said I really want to be done with this book because I know how the rest of this week is going to be. And technically the last day of September is tomorrow. So I went ahead and finished the rest of this book on audio. And I must say, it was a pretty good book. It was a pretty good book. Now, I'm still trying to figure out what the star rating is. It's not a 5-star. Right now, it's not quite a 4 either. I'm between 3.5, 3.75. And I will kind of explain why. It still is very, I don't want to say it's very hard for me to explain this book because I believe that if you're not Black, there are parts of this book that you may not be able to resonate with. So if we think about like, the movie Soul Food and how, traditionally families at Big Mama's house, your grandmother's house, around a table, eating good food, good conversation. Also, if you think of Mardi Gras, if you've ever been to Mardi Gras, I've also never done like carnival with all of the feathers, the bejeweled like costume. I've never done that. Would like to experience that one day, but it is something about a group of Black people getting together. There's music, there's a good time, and then there's just an energy. There's just a camaraderie is not the word I'm looking for. What is the word I'm looking for? There is just there's just a being. There's just a level of high energy, of belongingness, I guess is the word, to kind of explain what I'm trying to say, that you will feel. And so this book did do a great job of portraying that when they did get to, it wasn't quite their destination, but somewhere they had to stop in order to get to the destination, that Sydney, which is the daughter of the main character, Charlie. And so they had to stop through a different town, and that town was very different from what they expected. I will say that. And I was really annoyed with Sydney early on in this book because I think I said like, okay, y'all, she's witnessing. She's experiencing, a identity crisis, because again, in this book, all white people die in this book by walking in a body of water. And so even though she did everything in her power to stop her family, she was left with trying to figure out what's next, who she is. And so she ends up contacting her dad, who is Black, who she was pretty much raised to believe that he abandoned her. And as you read the book, you will learn why he wasn't present. It's not going to be anything that you're totally surprised by. I can't remember if I said that previously or not, but it is finally revealed not only what happened to all of the white people in this world, but it's also revealed to her what happened and why her dad was not present. Now, the only reason I'm not quite giving this book a 4 or not even a 5 is because I feel like the end is left up to your interpretation. And sometimes when a book does that, it's great, but then other times it's just like, wait, that's it? Like SIBO. That's all you're gonna give. So there's really no answer, no resolution. And so for me, that's the only reason I can't quite give it even a 4. There were some moments I really, really did enjoy this. There were some moments I was really annoyed much early on with Sydney, but I will say her character did grow, and I appreciate that. But also so did Charlie's. And Charlie, even though he's painted out to be a bad guy because he was in prison, deep down inside, he's really not a bad guy. He just, he was a Black man. He got caught up in some things and got caught up in the system, which unfortunately a lot of Black men and other, you know, men of color do. And so I do appreciate the growth in this. Now, to clear up some confusion, I think I said in a previous clip, I was like, oh, there's a woman. I don't even know if I gave her a name, but I won't say her name because I'm not quite sure if I said it. However, it makes sense why they were mentioned. Now, since I completed this book, I did have to go back because I was like, well, okay, this person did play a pivotal part, but why was there a chapter where it was in the beginning of the book? And so I didn't quite like the placement, I will say. It seemed like it just was placed there, so all loose ends are eventually tied up. And so the placement to me was a tad bit strange, and maybe that's why also I can't quite give it a 4, because early on I was like, okay, why are we getting this other person's POV? But their POV is absolutely necessary for this book and to keep the story going along. But I think I kind of just maybe missed it, and probably because by the time I was listening to it audio, but usually because I'm an audio book lover, I'm able to kind of keep up with it, but I think it just seemed a bit disjointed. I think it's the best way of explaining it. However, it is still very much so a book that I would recommend anyone reading, especially, hey, if you look like me, I say read this book, just because it's a very interesting concept of how they are trying to move forward in a world that was not necessarily built for them, but now they're like living in a world with their past traumas and trying to figure out life without white people, to be completely honest. Even though deep down inside, you know, you're the person who's most contributed to this world, you just were also one of the people who were pretty much said, like, hey, you have to stay away. Now, I would absolutely still recommend this book, especially just to see what it's like for the world to no longer, you know, be here with white people who have, I guess, oppressed you, right, in various ways. But now you're living in a world where you have to try to challenge that, right? Because it's no longer those systematic barriers in a sense, but even knowing like deep down inside, like your people, those who look like us, are the reason why certain things run the way that they did, right? Like if it wasn't for us, certain things would not have been whether that's invented or created or, you know, done. But all that credit is never given, right? So because of that, I will definitely still absolutely recommend this book. And so yeah, that is Sky Full of Elephants. Very much so a great read. Sibo, amazing concept. And just thank you for seeing us and bringing our culture to life in this book. It really felt like nostalgic in some sense. And again, the grow and change that Sydney did, I'm proud of her for that. But I also kind of wonder if there will be a part 2. But again, maybe that's the left up to your interpretation part that I'm talking about. So before this video becomes any longer, I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, for watching this video and tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I would like to do vlogs some more, but again, it kind of just depends on life and how life decides to life, and if I'm just able to do it. But when I can, I absolutely love picking up the camera just to show you guys currently like what I'm reading, instead of always doing like official or formal sit down videos. But if you made it all the way to the end, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you have read Sky Full of Elephants or if you plan on reading it. And if you have read it, let me know your thoughts down below without spoiling it, please. All right, I will see y'all in the next one. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Bye.